There is the version of this story the public has been watching, and then there is the quieter, more human version unfolding beneath it. Most people have seen Savannah Guthrie standing before cameras with remarkable composure, delivering carefully measured statements about her missing mother. They have admired her steadiness. They have called it grace under pressure. They have filled comment sections with prayers and encouragement for Nancy's safe return. And that response is understandable. Watching someone hold themselves together during a crisis is powerful, but what the public sees is only one layer. It is the professional layer, the broadcast-ready layer, the version shaped by decades in journalism. Beneath it is a daughter experiencing fear in real time. Beneath it is a 54-year-old woman navigating uncertainty while millions study her expression for cracks. That hidden layer carries a weight cameras cannot fully capture. 54 and supposed to be secure. At 54, life is often expected to feel earned. It is an age associated with arrival, with stability, with having already proven yourself in the arenas that once demanded everything. Savannah had built one of the most recognized careers in American morning television. She had weathered institutional turbulence, relentless public scrutiny, and the daily pressure of live broadcasting. She balanced motherhood with a role that allows little room for error. By this stage, the climb was supposed to have eased, the proving was supposed to be finished. Then, February 1st, 2026, disrupted that expectation. Reports confirmed that her 84-year-old mother, Nancy, was missing from her Tucson home. Suddenly, the season of stability fractured. Instead of enjoying the view from the summit, Savannah found herself standing at the edge of something uncertain, holding together a life that had shifted overnight. The first layer: fear and time. The most immediate layer of the tragedy is the obvious one: an elderly woman missing, an investigation unfolding, a family waiting for answers. Nancy is 84 and relies on heart medication. That detail alone intensifies the urgency. When someone with medical needs disappears, time feels different. It is not abstract. It is tangible. Every passing hour carries consequence. Savannah has known this since the first moment she learned her mother was gone. While speaking publicly with restraint, she has also been privately aware that her mother's health depends on consistency and care. That awareness adds a dimension of fear that few people watching from home can fully grasp. Most individuals facing such circumstances would struggle to function, let alone speak coherently to a national audience. Yet, Savannah has continued to appear composed, steady, deliberate. That composure is admirable, but it is not the absence of fear. The second layer: a life of training. Savannah did not enter this crisis without history. She was raised by a mother who valued resilience, discipline, and self-control. After the early loss of her father, strength became more than a virtue. It became a survival strategy. Over time, that strategy shaped Savannah's identity. By adulthood, composure was instinctive. When faced with difficulty, she did not collapse. She organized, she responded, she performed. In this current crisis, that lifelong training is visible. Her statements have been structured, her tone measured, her language precise. Many have praised this as extraordinary strength, and it is strength. But it is also habit. It is the response pattern of someone who learned early that staying steady is how you protect what matters. That conditioning does not switch off simply because circumstances are overwhelming. 2. Battles at once. This creates a quieter, more complicated struggle. Savannah is fighting for her mother's safe return. At the same time, she is managing the internal standard she has carried for decades, the belief that she must handle everything well, flawlessly, without visible unraveling. Those two battles run simultaneously. The public sees the first. The second unfolds internally. When she speaks calmly, it is partly professionalism and partly something deeper, a reflex shaped long ago. That reflex may serve her in crisis, but it can also isolate her, because when strength becomes automatic, vulnerability feels unfamiliar, even unsafe. The world applauds her composure, yet beneath it may be exhaustion, grief, and the longing to set the burden down, if only briefly. The silence. Between statements, public updates have come carefully, spaced by days. Between those statements lies silence. For viewers, silence breeds speculation. For families in crisis, silence is heavy. It is the space where fear grows louder. It is the stretch of hours where phones remain still and questions echo. Savannah's ability to step into that silence and then return to the camera composed speaks to remarkable discipline. But discipline does not erase the private toll. After statements are delivered and interviews conclude, she returns not to applause but to uncertainty. She is a mother herself, balancing her children's need for reassurance with her own unanswered questions. Those unseen hours may be the most difficult part of all, the time when there is nothing to do but wait. Love and expectation. There is no doubt that Nancy loves her daughter. That love shaped Savannah's ambition, her work ethic, and her moral compass. But love expressed primarily through high expectation can leave a lasting imprint. When strength is emphasized repeatedly, a child can internalize the idea that composure equals worth. Over time, that message becomes self-directed. Even at 54, even with decades of achievement, a daughter may still want reassurance from the one voice that mattered first. This does not diminish Nancy's love. It simply acknowledges the complexity of family dynamics. In moments of crisis, those early patterns resurface. The desire to handle everything perfectly may not be about public approval at all. It may be about honoring the lessons learned long ago. The people who want to help Savannah is surrounded by colleagues, friends, and family who care deeply. Support exists. Yet when someone has spent a lifetime managing emotion internally, accepting full support can feel unfamiliar. The walls built over decades do not disappear overnight. Even when others reach out, it can be difficult to let them fully inside the fear. That does not mean she is alone. It means vulnerability requires unlearning, and unlearning is hardest in the middle of crisis, especially when the person whose reassurance carries the most weight is the one who is absent. That absence reverberates in ways cameras cannot record. It is not only the loss of physical presence, it is the temporary loss of a foundational voice. The question beneath it, all at the core of this unfolding story, lies a deeply human question. Am I enough? Not enough for viewers or networks, but enough for the person whose approval shaped everything. Success does not erase that question. Neither does adulthood. It can persist quietly for decades. In this moment, Savannah may be carrying not only fear for her mother's safety, but also the suspended conversation waiting on the other side of resolution. If Nancy returns safely, there will be relief beyond measure. There may also be an opportunity for words that are rarely spoken plainly in high-achieving families, words that do not reference strength or performance, words that simply affirm love without condition. More than a headline. This situation is heartbreaking because it operates on multiple levels at once. There is the visible tragedy of a missing elderly woman. There is the ticking clock of medical necessity. There is the national spotlight. And there is the quieter emotional history between a mother and daughter who have shaped each other for more than 5 decades. The public sees composure. What they cannot fully see is the layered reality beneath it, the exhaustion, the fear, the lifelong patterns activated under pressure. The deepest hope now is simple and urgent, that Nancy returns home safely. And when she does, that the conversation waiting between them can finally unfold without cameras, without performance, without any need to prove anything at all.